Yo, you already know what time it is. Welcome to another Thinker versus Speaker recap. If you didn't know, my name is Marissa the Thinker, host of Thinker versus Speaker, a podcast where once a week I sit down with different guests and we talk about all things, anything, everything, life, love, relationships, spirituality, literally whatever we want to talk about. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely make sure to go check out the podcast. It's on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, right here on YouTube. So you know what I'm saying? If you're watching us over on YouTube, definitely go subscribe, hit the bell button so you know anytime that I drop a video, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't like listening to the long version, you know what I'm saying? I know how it is, you know, you can't always just sit down and listen to an hour's worth of content. Cool. Over on YouTube, I break it down into small clips. Every day I drop a different version of the episode that came out. You know what I'm saying? So you can check it out in small bursts. So if you're not subscribed over on YouTube, go check that out. And if you don't got time to listen to the whole thing, that's an option. You know what I mean? That is an option. But on that note, welcome to the recap. How y'all doing this week? How has it been? Y'all, the 4th of July is coming up. And I'm excited for this long weekend I'm about to have. Because when I tell y'all, I've been working, okay? Regular work is going crazy. Podcast work going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a lot of fun, though. Like, I'm having a really fun time just balancing it all. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk about my regular job, but you know what I'm saying? As far as the show goes, I've been meeting a lot of interesting new people. I got some new guests coming up for y'all in the next couple weeks, and I'm really excited about some of the conversations that I've had. I've actually recorded an episode with a girl named Chanel. She has a YouTube page, TikTok, Instagram page. It's all called The Urban Sunflower, and we had an interesting... Let me say that for next week's recap, but go check out The Urban Sunflower on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, okay? And then I'll tell y'all what we talked about later, but you know what I'm saying? On that note, since I'm already just hopping into episodes, let's talk about last week's episode, right? Last week we talked to Ashton, a frequent guest on the show. He comes on all the time, a music producer. He's actually the person that made the intro, so shout out to him. If you're looking to have any music and stuff made, definitely check him out. His Instagram is mgeek0417, so check him out. He also does like gaming content, hot boxes on YouTube, that kind of thing at Stone Vapor Gamer. And then you know what I'm saying, Ashton Stone Vapor Davy over on Facebook. But yeah, really cool guy. We always get into some just really thought-provoking conversations. I feel like every time that he's come on the show, like we've had conversations about black on black crime. We talked about critical race theory and history in schools and where we came from, St. Louis, and the thought process that goes behind that. We've talked about mental health. We talked about a lot of stuff. So if you're interested in any of those conversations, let me list these out for you, okay? So if you're looking for episodes to watch and you're looking for Ashton, we got Thinker versus Speaker, okay? He got an episode with the show name, okay? And if you listen to the episode, you'll know why. But Thinker versus Speaker, that's Ashton's first episode that we did. Then you have What Do You Want? That's another episode that we did. We also got Special St. Paul. And there's a couple others that I'm missing too. And then the one that came out last week is called... What is that one called? Hustle and Heart. Yeah, Hustle and Heart. And the reason why it's called Hustle and Heart, because we gave Ashton an opportunity to tell his story on the show. We've done all these episodes where we talked about so many different things, but Ashton has never had the opportunity to truly tell his story. So this week we actually gave him a chance to tell his story and a little bit about where he came from. And we learned a lot of things, like, you know what I'm saying, how he grew up with a heart condition, so he was in and out of school for the majority of his life. That took a lot of his childhood, from what he said, you know what I'm saying? And in order to cope with that, he learned how to play music, you know what I'm saying? He learned how to play drums and piano and saxophone, and just on and on and on and on and on. And then from there, once he got to school, he started playing at Harris Stowe's drumline, which is a HBCU back home in St. Louis. He started playing on that drumline when he was still in high school. You know what I'm saying? That was something that I didn't even know was an option back then, okay? So he was doing that, and then went off later to go to Full Sail and, you know, get a degree in music. So he has a really interesting story, lived in a bunch of different places, you know, just a lot of unique conversations to offer. So if you haven't checked that conversation out, definitely make sure to go do that over there. Like I said, we talked a lot about his story and just, you know, how we grow, change, and evolve over the years. You know what I'm saying? How, you know, as you get older, you start shifting focus and you start, you know, concerning yourself with things. Like for him, for instance, he was like, when he was in school, it was all about getting his education, you know, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. It wasn't about the girls. It wasn't about socializing. It was literally about, let me get this education. And then he wound up starting his own business by the time he was 25. And then from that point, you know what I'm saying, we're at a point in life where it's just like, all right, like, I'm ready to settle down. Like, it's time to start setting different goals, like buying houses and things like that. So we talk about how interesting it is for the way that your perception and things change as you get older. So definitely had a fun time recording that episode. So again, shouts out to Ashton, mgeek0417 on Instagram. Definitely make sure to go check him out. Again, creator and the intro. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to you. Appreciate you for coming through. Looking forward to having you again. And speaking of having you again, the next guest this week is no stranger to the podcast either. I got Trey L. Scott of A&O Movers, B&K Cleaning Services, Emerging Business Leader, all of the things and more, coming back to talk to us about, you know what I'm saying, all of the things that he got going, all the things that he has going on. So we talk about a lot of stuff. Y'all already know how it is when we talk to Trey. Again, his episodes, he has God's business plan, and his other episode is I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. If I remember, I'll bring it back. But he has another episode, man, and it's what he says all the time. That's gonna bother me, y'all. That's gonna bother me, but it is what it is. Speak on it. That's the name. Speak on it. So God's business plan and Speak on it. Those are the two episodes that he did with us. And you know what I'm saying? Again, those are really interesting. And with Trey is inspiration that comes with his episodes. Like every time I sit down and I talk to Trey, I always walk away feeling more motivated than I started, more motivated, more inspired, ready to go tackle the world. Like that's just the energy that man comes with. So, you know what I'm saying? This week it continues, and we're talking about the work that he's doing with Emerging Business Leaders and their expo that they're doing November 4th in St. Louis, Missouri from 11 to 4. They're still looking for vendors. You know what I'm saying? So go check them out. They're on Instagram. They're on Instagram and they're on Facebook as Emerging Business Leaders. You know what I'm saying? And check them out. Get some info about the expo. He's going to talk all about it in this episode. He's going to give you all of the information that you need to know. You know what I'm saying? I'll put my thinking cap on. I ask the important questions, you know what I'm saying, for all of the entrepreneurs that might be a little shy and they want to know how the process goes, but they don't know. They want to know how much it costs, but they scared to ask. I got y'all covered in this episode. So make sure you go check it out because he's going to break all of that down for you. And, you know, besides that, it's not just going to be a expo for small business leaders. It's going to be one for health as well, health and wellness as well. And we talk a little bit more why and, you know, the importance of shifting focus to health in our communities. When I say our communities, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking on the Black community right now, but you know what I'm saying? How important it is to shift that focus to health, because that's not always something that we put in the forefront, but when in reality, it's so important. You know what I'm saying? How many of us know somebody in our family that has high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, all that? You know what I'm saying? I'm not exempt from any of that. So, you know, it's real and it's a prevalent issue in our communities, but we don't talk about it. It's just our norm. And we want to break that cycle of that being the norm. And we really want to explore new and different ways of how to be healthy. And this expo is going to help us do that. So I'm really excited about some of the conversations that we're going to have in this episode. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we are when it comes down to it. We talk about everything. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about, you know, understanding when God is talking to you. You know what I'm saying? The name of the episode is literally God Ain't Say That. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like, where you'll get that feeling, like, say for instance, you get that call in entrepreneurship and it's just like, so what now? Do I just quit my job? I ain't got no plan, God. What am I supposed to do? God ain't tell you to quit your job now. Some people, he might have told you to take that leap, but it was something with him. Now, he ain't just going to tell you to do nothing crazy. So we talk about the difference between listening to what you want to do and really understanding and learning when God is speaking to you and when he's telling you to make certain moves, and how we learn how to operate in faith and how we operate in faith, because it's an important thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you got to believe in God. You can believe in God. You can believe in the universe. Believe in whatever you need to believe in. But when you out in this unknown, you got to believe in something. Because otherwise, what do you have? And I mean, if you have a different type of thought process, like, say, for instance, if you don't believe in what I believe in, what is it do you believe? What other types of concepts do you believe in that continue to help you push yourself forward? See, my personal belief system is God. I believe in God. You know what I'm saying? And I say God in a whole sense. I'm not saying God in a specific way. Like, you know, I grew up Christian. I grew up Baptist. So I believe in God and Jesus, but you know, God is unlimited. Like, God is unlimited. You can't put a limit on God. You know what I'm saying? If you say the universe, it's still God in my world. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, what do you believe in? What is your faith system? What kind of higher power do you believe in? What is it that you use to keep you pushing forward? Like, I'm curious, you know what I'm saying? Because when people say, you know, when people are spiritual, what does that mean? You know, spiritual can mean religious. Spiritual could mean you believe in the universe. Spiritual could mean that you believe in Buddha. Like, it could be anything. It just, that means that you believe in a higher power. So when y'all say y'all are spiritual, I'm just curious. Drop it in the comments. What do you mean? What is being spiritual to you? And like, when you hear someone say that they're spiritual, what is it that you hear? I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that the definition is the same for everybody. But I do believe that sometimes people hear it and then they shut off because they think it's one thing. But it's just like, that's not what I meant. But anyway, yeah, we talk about some of that. We don't talk about all of that. That was just me kind of going on a tangent, but I'm curious, and like, let's get some dialogue. That's what these recaps are for, right? For me to go on my rants and tangents. So let's dive into it. But you know what I'm saying? On that note, I'm not going to take up any more of y'all time. I hope y'all enjoyed this recap. I hope y'all enjoyed next week's this week's episode with Trey. I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode coming up. It's been a long week, like I said, and y'all know I'm not going to edit any of this out, so bear with me, Jesus. But I hope y'all enjoy this week's episode coming up called God Ain't Say That with Trey. And if you haven't checked out last week's episode with Ashton, there's still time. It's called Hustle and Heart. Make sure you go stream it. Let's run those streams up for that one. Y'all showed out for Kiara, you know what I'm saying? And y'all hushed a little bit on this week's episode. Y'all ain't do bad. We did good. We doing all right, you know what I'm saying? But we could do a little bit better. So go run these views up real quick for this episode, and then tomorrow we'll be dropping that new one with Trey. So, you know, if you haven't subscribed already, definitely make sure you subscribe. If you want to talk to me, or if you're interested in coming on the show, you got a subject that you want me to talk about, a person that you want me to talk to, or you just want to shoot the shit in general, hit me up on social media. You can find me at MarissaY17 on Instagram, Marissa the Thinker on Facebook and YouTube. And then you can also find me at, Thinker versus Speaker, at Thinker versus Speaker on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So, yeah, I'm a very approachable person. So, you know what I'm saying? If you want to talk, you want to chat, you want to da-da-da, go ahead, hit me up. Now, if you hitting me up with some one words and some things that make sense, I might stop responding to you. I'm not going to lie to you. But you know what I'm saying? If you want to talk, I'm here. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and hop up out of here, get this recap up for y'all, and then the episode out for y'all. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, y'all.